talk about toxicity in YA. Hey everyone, it's your girl Regina coming at you guys with another video. I'm going to be doing a book review on Romanov by Nadine. Let me tell you, you thought I hated God by Stacey Claflin. I checked up there for the video link. Oh boy, this book really does a number. Before we get into it, we might be joined by little Nico at some point throughout this video. He likes to roam around as he pleases. Comment, like, subscribe. I post often. Let's start saying that. If you haven't already, hit the bell icon. And, yeah, let's get into it, shall we? If you guys don't know, the Romanovs were the last czars of Russia. They were a single family dynasty, meaning the son carried on the throne, inherited the throne. Back in 1917, there was an execution, a planned execution of the Romanov family. Tsar Nikolai was accused of being an unfit ruler. He led his army into battle with deadly results. He did not listen to his cabinet ministers, and while he may have been a really good man in his personal life, as this book suggests, he was inadequately prepared to take the throne. You know, his father, the late king, said that you have to rule with an iron fist. He did not have one. His wife was Tsarina Alexandra, who was the granddaughter of Queen Victoria. If you guys don't know, Queen Victoria was the queen of England, the United Kingdom, and one of her accomplishments, shall we say, was how she set up her children and her grandchildren's marriages all across Europe. So, many royal families in Europe are now somehow related, thanks to Queen Victoria. So it's always a shindig every time the royals meet up. This is the type of information that Nadine does not put in her book. The readers, shall we say, are required to know about the Romanovs. They are required to know about the Bolshevik Revolution. And I'm going to guess, hello Nico. I'm going to guess that not everyone knows about the Romanovs. And, she's like, alright, whatever. Oh, hello. Sorry. My little one would like a moment. Hello. Hi. Oh. Anyways. Oh, kisses, thank you. I think you can sense that I'm upset. The way that Nadine starts off her book is in Tobolsk, when Anastasia finds out that her father and her family, actually, are to be moved to another location in Ekaterinburg. Oh, I should also mention that this is a retelling of Anastasia. Another fun fact is that hey! Hello, not everything is for you to eat. Thank you very much. Just because it comes in a bowl, or it's in a plate, or it's on a floor, or it's unattended, does not mean you can eat it. Thank you. I don't just yell at my brother, I also yell at my little puppy. Okay then. And so, as I mentioned, this is a retelling of Anastasia. The legend goes that Anastasia was the only surviving member of the Romanov family. That she somehow managed to not only escape with her life, but leave Russia. And so this book takes that and stretches it. So this a good 55-60%, the family are in exile. The author is detailing what the family is going through, the details of the home, their schedule, and etc. By the way, you can, if you'd like to read Romanov, you can read the first 50% of it on Wikipedia. Just look up the execution of the Romanov family. And so, after the execution, spoiler alert, they died, okay. No secret. The, Anastasia and her brother, who somehow survived, are now on the run for their lives. I should also mention this book has magical realism. Magical elements, what is a magic system? Could not tell you, even if I wanted to. 1 second. Apparently, in this book, there is a spell ink that if you use it with a paintbrush or your fingers, there is a spell or a word that's associated with it. Who controls it? No idea. How many people have it? No idea. And so, they're trying to find one of the greatest spellmasters in the country. So that's the book. Now let's talk about why I hated the fudge out of this book. Let's see. There is a level of toxicity that was in this book that I have found in many books of the YA genre. For example, Anastasia manages to fall in love with her captor. Hello, Stockholm Syndrome! The whole family is in exile, but does she care? No. She wants to know if her friend/captor has feelings for her. She's the one who helps murder her entire family, and still, the author is still pushing the two of them together. They have no chemistry. While Anastasia is a 16-year-old, naive, stupid little girl, Zash is someone who hates her. Hates the royals, hates everyone and everything that they stand for valid reasons, from their side, the Bolshevik side. And he still expects forgiveness, and this young girl who literally saw her family slaughtered is still in love with him and says that yes, we will be together. And also, she asks why Zash did it, right? Why did he help her? And so he says that, the Yurovsky, the commandant, he asked 300 of us, or however many of the soldiers in the evacuative house, whether or not we would be willing to help murder the family. If we said no, then they would be locked up in one of the guardhouses. If we said yes, we were trusted with more information. I thought it would be best if you had a kind-hearted person in the room of the execution rather than a soulless, friendless, evil Bolshevik member who didn't care for you. I thought you would need a friend. Well, geez, a friend like that, who needs enemies? Level of toxicity in writing that is acceptable is mind-boggling. Why? Why is this even allowed? Why is it that a book that targets young adults is making excuses like this? Why is it that an author is trying to manipulate readers into thinking that yes, you should fall in love with a murderer who murdered your entire family? What? Wow! And then, while they're in exile for a good few months, Anastasia never had the feeling, or not even feeling, never understood the gravity of their situation. Never understood that they're in exile, that their lives are literally hanging in the balance, that the commandant and the Bolshevik army and the ruler, not the ruler, the government, the republic, wants the Romanovs dead. Oh, I just want my handsome Zash. Wow. There is an entire revolution happening. No mention. And you know what? This book, I feel like Nadine Randi's wanted to write it as if it were the Diary of Anne Frank, but she missed the mark completely. Because at least Anne Frank had a bit of sense in her. Some common sense. Also, who the hell keeps a hostage in plain sight of the neighbors? What? Anastasia in the book, she's described as to be an imp. She's very mischievous, she loves pranks, and blah blah blah. And so she plays pranks. She is very lively and jolly until she makes decisions that literally could kill her. There were many instances in the book that she should have died. But no, somehow, for plot point and convenience, she survived. And then, the craziest scene, right? Alexei, Anastasia, and Zash, they're on the run, they're trying to find Dustin for the Spellmaster, and then they said, you know what, let's stay in the woods, let's stay hiding, and stay the night, conserve our energy. All three of them fell asleep. You're telling me that neither of you? Okay, Alexei, who threatened Tsarevich, Alexei, he was weak. He had hemophilia, which was kept from the public in real life and in the book. You're telling me that Zash, the Bolshevik soldier, ex-soldier, or Anastasia, neither of them had enough sense to say, one of us should keep watch? Correct me if I'm wrong. That is in almost every book where they're taking a journey or they're on the run. Mind-blowingly stupid. What else? There's a lot I hate about this book. There's so much. It is freaking mind-blowing. Oh, yeah, okay, so the family, right before they went to the bunking house, they had a chance to escape, but they didn't. In history, because the royal families were all interrelated, they tried asking the Queen of England and other countries for help. The United States, much of Europe was in war, was at war. You know, makes sense. There was anti-Russian sentiments. People really hated the Tsar abroad. And then Tsarina Alexandra was hated by the public. A lot of propaganda came about in Russia. One of them being that she was having an affair with Rasputin, which probably not true. Grigory Rasputin, he was a mystic who claimed to have known spells and was also a healer. And so he was in the favor of the Romanovs. He wanted to help Alexei Romanov, the youngest son and the heir to the throne. Oh. So, Anastasia and Alexei somehow managed to survive by turning into ghosts, right? And then after their bodies were mutilated and burned, and God knows what else, they get their bodies back. I guess their bodies come back to I don't know. It is so freaking confusing. They get their bodies back. Again, no one thought of, hey, let's send out a missive to any royal family member and abroad. Hey, tell our great-grandmother that we're alive, everyone's dead, or try to escape the country. No. Then there's also the White Army. Now, during the Bolshevik Revolution, there was the Red Army, which were communist. There was a White Army that were pro-monarchy. That they wanted the Romanovs. You know, and they were willing to help the Romanovs too. So, the two siblings and Zash happened to come across the White Army, a couple of army officers. They never took the siblings in. They never said, we will protect you, come with us, because that would have been a really, really great way of the White Army telling Russia and the Red Army, hey, we have these children. Hey, these are the atrocities that they have been through the hand of the Bolsheviks. Did they do that? No. Did the author think to do that? Probably not. Because, you know, she's too busy plagiarizing Wikipedia. And the only way that I even stumbled onto Wikipedia, and by the way, I do not throw around the word plagiarism like anything. I've read a lot of historical fiction. I've read a lot of historical nonfiction. Was a history major. The one thing that you're taught, and the one thing that authors of historical fiction of any of any time period, what they tend to do is do their research and take sources from multiple sources, you know? Wikipedia is a starting point, but you probably shouldn't base a vast majority of the book on Wikipedia. You know, one night, I was taking a break from the book because I lost count of how many times I rolled my eyes at that point. And I was just doing a simple research and saying, I want to know more about the Romanovs because I don't know much. Googled why were they assassinated, what was the reason behind their assassination. And so I stumbled onto a Wikipedia page that basically was paraphrased in the book. If you really want to know what the book is like, if you really want to read the book, just read Wikipedia. Another thing that really bothered me was blind loyalty. So, as I mentioned, the Tsar was an incompetent ruler, or that's how many perceived him as. And Zash, in the beginning, and other soldiers, they're telling the kids, especially Anastasia, why they want their father dead, why the family had to be deposed, why they're terrible people. Anastasia goes, no, my father's a good man, my father loves his country, loves his people, and will do anything for his people. He has told us that in the service of our country, blah, blah, blah. She never once decides to ask her father about these things. She never tries to do critical thinking. If anything, she goes to her mother and asks about Rasputin. You know? Yes, daughters love their fathers, sons love their mothers, but come on! A little bit of critical thinking, a little bit of talking would do the trick. You know, at least you have the complete story. But no, Anastasia's a spoiled little brat. I will tell you, I feel bad for the Romanovs in real life and how they died. But so many times in the book, I thought to myself, to Anastasia, in the book, you should have died and stayed dead. Wait, besides Anastasia, there was actually very little character development. You know, her whole entire family was murdered except for her brother, but all she ever talked about was her papa. Barely mentions Tatiana, Olga, Mama. I mean, her two sisters are mentioned in the epilogue. It's like, wait, I forgot those people even existed. Anyways, that's all I have for you now. I rated this book 1 star, and now you're thinking, oh wow, she rated it 1 star, even though it's a terrible book. Yeah, the cover was the only good thing about this book. Like, it's gold, it's pretty, that's about it. And I'm a sucker for covers. Anyways, comment, like, subscribe. I shall see you guys next time. Bye!